You might not know this, but this is actually one of the coolest uses of silicone that almost no one ever tells you about. We're used to using silicone to fill gaps, waterproof, or fix small things around the house. But in the DIY world, it opens the door to many off-the-textbook applications that are surprisingly fun. No complexity, no advanced skills needed. Just one tube of silicone, and you got a flexible material that makes every DIY project smoother and far more creative. The first step, I'll prepare a cup to hold the silicone. I'll start by spraying the silicone into the cup, making sure there's enough of the project I'm about to do. It doesn't need to be too much, just a moderate amount so it's easy to work with later. This will be a special material because of its unique properties. Mixing silicone is quite challenging since it's thick and takes a long time to blend. That's why we'll need a special type of solvent and the right mixing tool. You definitely can't just use your hands for this part. So, I'm going to make a special tool that can stir and break down the silicone effectively. Once attached to the drill, this tool will make the job much easier. The spinning motion helps mix the silicone evenly and quickly, saving both time and effort compared to stirring by hand. Next, I'll pour some thinner into the cup of silicone. The thinner will help soften and loosen up the silicone's texture, making it much easier to mix and work with. You'll notice the silicone starting to become smoother and more fluid as the two blend together. After that, I'll add some PVA glue into the mixture. The PVA helps improve the bonding strength and flexibility of the silicone once it dries. When combined with the thinner, it creates a smoother, more workable texture, perfect for coating, molding, or sealing DIY projects. Finally, I'll add some cement into the mix. The cement will give the blend extra hardness and durability once it sets, turning the soft silicone mixture into a tough, semi-flexible compound. This combination makes it ideal for creating strong, waterproof, and long-lasting DIY surfaces or repairs. You can use either regular cement or white cement. Both will give you the same result. The choice mainly depends on the color or finish you want for your project. Next, I'll divide the mixture into two portions. This will make it easier to test different uses or compare how each batch reacts when applied to different surfaces. You can add watercolor paint or powder pigment to either portion. Both work well. This step lets you customize the color of the mixture, whether you want a natural tone or something more vibrant to highlight your DIY piece. When all these ingredients come together, silicone, thinner, PVA glue, and cement, they form a unique hybrid material. The result is a durable, semi-elastic compound that sticks well to many surfaces, resists moisture, and can be shaped or molded easily. Perfect for creative DIY applications. I'll start by testing the mixture with the red paint first. The surface of the brick is rough and porous, with tiny holes and uneven textures that easily trap dust and moisture. It has a matte, grainy feel to the touch, and you can see small ridges and natural imperfections. Perfect for testing how well the silicone mixture adheres and seals against coarse materials. Next, I'll use tape to divide the brick surface into two sections. This way, I can apply the silicone mixture to one side while leaving the other side untouched, making it easy to compare the difference in texture, adhesion, and finish once the mixture dries. Now, I'll brush the silicone mixture onto one side of the brick. I'm spreading it evenly, making sure it fills the small pores and crevices on the surface. As I coat it, the layer starts to smooth out the rough texture, creating a protective, slightly glossy finish that clearly contrasts with the untreated side. After applying the red mixture, I'll let the brick dry completely. Once it's set, I'll move on to the second portion, the black mixture, and prepare to apply it to the other side. I'll use a roller to apply the black mixture onto the plaster surface. I'll also divide the plaster surface into two sections with tape. This way, I can apply the black mixture to one side while keeping the other side untouched, making it easy to compare the texture, adhesion, and overall finish once it dries. Rolling it ensures an even coat that fills in the tiny grooves and textures, giving the plaster a smooth, consistent finish while making the application faster and more efficient than using a brush. I'll continue rolling the mixture back and forth, making sure every part of the plaster is covered evenly. The roller helps spread the material smoothly, reducing streaks or clumps, and allows the mixture to penetrate the surface's small crevices for better adhesion and a more uniform finish. After rolling the mixture onto the plaster, I'll let it sit and dry completely. Once it's dry, I'll take a close look at the brick. The treated side now has a smooth, slightly glossy surface that fills in the rough pores and cracks, while the untreated side remains coarse and matte. The contrast clearly shows how well the silicone cement mixture adheres and transforms the texture. Next, I'll test the waterproofing ability. I'll pour a small amount of water onto the treated side of the brick and watch how it behaves. The water beads up easily, showing that the silicone cement mixture forms an effective water-resistant layer, while the untreated side soaks up the water almost immediately. Although the water doesn't bead up into droplets, the waterproofing is still excellent. The liquid doesn't penetrate the surface at all, leaving the brick completely dry underneath. Turning to the plaster surface, I'll check how well the black mixture has adhered. The coating has created a smooth, even layer that fills in the tiny grooves and imperfections, giving the plaster a uniform texture. The black coating has a matte finish, giving the plaster a sleek, non-reflective surface. Its slightly textured, velvety look adds depth while maintaining the waterproofing and durability of the applied mixture. In conclusion, this DIY silicone cement mixture transforms rough surfaces like brick and plaster into smooth, durable, and waterproof finishes, all while allowing for creative color customization. And if you're already familiar with using silicone, don't overlook its equally interesting sibling, PVA glue, readily available at home. This white glue that seems like it's only meant for paper actually opens up another clever trick for DIY lovers. When it dries, PVA forms a flexible, smooth, and well-adhering film, which means you can fully take advantage of that property for applications most people never think about. Used the right way, you'll be surprised at how useful it can be for protecting surfaces, reinforcing parts, or transforming materials however you like. Just a small trick, but opens up a whole new direction of creativity for any DIY project. But PVA glue alone isn't enough. We'll need one more special ingredient to make the bond even stronger and the surface perfectly smooth. Now, I'm going to gather that special ingredient. That special ingredient is sawdust, something you can easily collect while sanding or cutting wood. It might seem simple, but when combined with PVA glue, it turns into a powerful wood filler that can fill gaps, cracks, or uneven joints perfectly. For the best results, choose fine, powder-like sawdust. This type blends more smoothly with the glue, creating a consistent, easy-to-apply mixture. Coarse sawdust can leave a rough texture and make it harder to achieve a clean, seamless finish. When collecting or handling fine sawdust, it's a good idea to wear a mask. The tiny particles can easily get into your nose and lungs, which isn't good for your health. A simple dust mask will keep you safe and comfortable while you work. Now it's time to combine the PVA glue and the sawdust. To control the amount of glue more easily, I'll use a drill to make a small hole in the cap of the PVA glue bottle. This simple tweak helps the glue come out smoothly and prevent it from spilling or wasting. Especially useful when you need precision for small or narrow joints. Compared to opening the cap and pouring the glue out, this method is much cleaner and easier to control. It helps you apply just the right amount of glue without making a mess or wasting any. Now, I'm going to apply the glue and join these two wooden pieces together first. I'll pour a bit of glue onto the surface, then spread it evenly using a brush or a small piece of wood. Make sure the glue covers the entire area. An even layer will ensure a strong, uniform bond once the pieces are pressed together. Hold the two wooden pieces together for a while to let them set in place. This helps the glue start bonding properly and keeps the pieces from shifting before it fully dries. Next, I'll mix the sawdust with some PVA glue. Start by adding a small amount of glue to the sawdust and stir thoroughly. The goal is to get a thick, dough-like texture, not too runny and not too dry. If it's too wet, it'll take longer to dry and shrink after hardening. If it's too dry, it won't stick well. This sawdust and glue mixture works wonderfully as a natural wood filler. It not only fills gaps and cracks, but also blends with the wood's color, especially if you use sawdust from the same type of wood. Add the glue slowly, a little at a time, until the mixture reaches the right thickness. This way, you can control the texture better. You want it thick enough to hold its shape, but still soft enough to spread easily into gaps or cracks. Taking your time here will give you a smoother, stronger filler in the end. I'll use a putty knife to apply the sawdust mixture. This tool helps spread the filler evenly and press it firmly into every gap or crack. Make sure to smooth out the surface as you go. The flatter and more even it is now, the less sanding you'll need later. Once the glued wooden pieces have dried, you'll notice that the joint still has a small gap. To make it hold together better and look seamless, I'll fill that gap with the sawdust and glue mixture. Press it firmly into the space, ensuring it completely fills a crack. This not only strengthens the joint, but also creates a smooth, even surface ready for sanding and finishing. I'll fill the remaining two sides of the joint with the sawdust mixture. This ensures that all gaps are completely sealed and the entire connection is strong and uniform. By carefully pressing and smoothing the filler, the The whole joint will look clean, seamless. And ready for sanding and finishing. Now I'll leave it to dry. Giving it enough time ensures the sawdust and glue mixture hardens fully, forming a strong, durable bond that's ready for sanding and finishing. Next, I'll create another example to demonstrate the process again. I'll drill a hole into this piece of wood. Next, I'll screw a bolt into the hole. This will secure the pieces together and add extra strength to the joint, ensuring it stays firmly in place. But the exposed bolt head looks a bit unsightly, so I'll fill it with the sawdust and glue mixture to hide it. Press the filler firmly into the hole, making sure it completely covers the bolt head and blends smoothly with the wood surface. I'll carefully press the sawdust and glue mixture into the hole over the bolt head, making sure it fills every corner. Then, I'll smooth out the surface with a putty knife, so it's even with the surrounding wood. Once it dries, the bolt head will be completely hidden, leaving a seamless and clean finish. Using a file without a handle is really tricky to work with, as it's hard to grip and control. To make it easier, I'll make use of the remaining sawdust and glue mixture to create a temporary handle. By molding the mixture around the file's end and letting it dry, I can form a custom grip that makes filing much safer and more comfortable. I'll prepare a plastic tube to use as a mold. First, I'll measure and cut it so that it fits perfectly around the handle area of the file. This will give the sawdust and glue mixture a neat, uniform shape as it sets, making a comfortable and sturdy grip. I'll tape the bottom of the plastic tube to hold the sawdust and glue mixture in place. This prevents it from leaking out while I fill the mold, ensuring the mixture sets neatly around the handle. Next, I'll pour the sawdust and glue mixture into the plastic tube, filling it up around the handle area. I'll make sure it's packed evenly so the mixture forms a solid, uniform grip once it dries. I'll press the mixture down firmly to compact it, making sure the inside is dense and free of air pockets. This ensures the handle will be strong, sturdy, and comfortable to hold once it dries. Now, I'll insert the file into the mixture inside the mold, positioning it so that it's centered and straight. This will form a handle around the file, creating a secure and comfortable grip. Once the mixture sets, now I'll leave it to dry. Giving it enough time ensures the sawdust and glue mixture hardens completely, forming a strong and durable handle for file. This sawdust and glue mixture is incredibly versatile. When properly mixed to a thick, paste-like consistency, it can be molded, pressed, or spread into gaps, cracks, or even around tools like we're doing with a file handle. After one day, the sawdust and glue mixture has fully dried and hardened. The two wooden pieces are now firmly bonded together. The glue, reinforced with the sawdust mixture in the gaps, has created a solid, rigid joint. When handled or pressed, there's no movement between pieces. They feel like a single, continuous piece of wood, strong enough for practical use or further finishing. The handle is now solid, sturdy, and ready for use, providing a comfortable grip that feels almost like a real wooden handle. Any excess can be sanded down for a smooth, finished look. The sawdust and glue mixture has hardened into a sturdy, wood-like grip that fits comfortably in the hand. Its surface is smooth and even, providing good control while filing, and it feels strong and durable, as if it were a professionally made handle. The bolt head is now completely hidden beneath the sawdust and glue filler. The surface is smooth and even, blending seamlessly with the surrounding wood. Once dried, it looks like a natural part of the piece, giving a clean, polished finish while keeping the joint strong and secure. In conclusion, with just PVA glue, fine sawdust, and a little patience, you can turn rough joints, exposed bolt heads, or even a bare tool into something strong, functional, and visually seamless. This simple DIY mixture not only reinforces connections, but also creates smooth, wood-like surfaces that can be sanded, shaped, and finished just like real wood. Whether you're repairing furniture, customizing tools, or filling gaps, this technique is an easy, effective way to achieve professional-looking results at home.